Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are back in the Red Room, functioning for another live stream. I think everything's going fine. I'm checking all the angles. Looks good here. I hope all is well for you. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop. Oh, kind of wants to sit. There it goes. That's a little better. Welcome, everyone. I hope your Tuesday went well. It is Wednesday now. That's it. That's there's no other like, wow, crazy. It's Wednesday. I guess tomorrow will be the first video to premiere in our narrative collab thing that we've been doing behind the scenes, where we've had a bunch of like TTRPG people and content creators and live streamers take part in sort of continuing storytelling. So the first episode, the one I made to start it, will release tomorrow. So it'll continue on Thursdays until I think like halfway through May. We've got 8 total, I want to say. I started, and then Gal, and then several other lovely members that we know in the community are a part of it. And it ends with our fabulous favorite, Ava the Femboy. And let me just say, people have gone ham on this, alright? Mine is very low-key. The beginner one is very chill because I didn't want to give anybody, like, specific ways they had to go. You know, I didn't want them to feel overwhelmed. But every single time the video went to the next person, they just made it crazier. Like, they upped the scale of quality, they upped the production, they upped the acting, the sounds, the visuals. So if you see me constantly looking over this way, it's because Oswald's currently playing with a beetle. Those things usually they're usually the kinds with the pinchers on them. So I'm waiting for him to go wabah and throw it, and I'm gonna pray he doesn't throw it this way. Otherwise, that's gonna be a fun viral clip. Oh, and he's coming back. Did you kill it, or did it hurt you? I guess we'll never know. But today we are painting. We're gonna paint our thrones that we made on Monday. Some of them I already have the stuff on it because I had like, Mod Podge black pieces and parts of it, but we're just gonna have to repaint them anyways. And then we'll just paint more minis because the minis don't need to look fabulous, they just need to be done so they're not like plain minis when we go to do combat and stuff. So we'll just paint a little bit and fuck around and find out and have a good time. But that's kind of the energy for today. There's not too much going on, not all of the hullabaloo happening. Yeah, and we're gonna try and use whatever's left in this little bottle. There's not a lot of Mod Podge, and I don't like, y'all know I don't like putting little paint globs on separate things and mixing separately like a real painter does. I mix on my products, so that's gonna be fun. But we haven't used them yet. I got like tiny paintbrushes, like with little tiny heads, so we can do the miniatures better. And I do want to pick out like which ones we're gonna use for specific stuff, because the other 4 were for like testing things. And I want to make sure we have some. So I think we're definitely going to use the devil, because he can be helpful when they fight our harbinger. I don't think we'll use a mimic. That's kind of like a dragonborn. He's fine. We could probably use a wizard or 2. He could act as a soldier. It's one of those things like I'm just going through and looking for whatever looks cool, I guess. I don't really need them to be anything specific. But we're not going to get to paint them all, right? So I want to make sure that we just get a good chunk of things that could be cool to fight. That could be cool to fight. They kind of look villainry. Let's see what else we got. That's a person with swords. They kind of look villainry. We don't need the little shopkeeper gnome. Archer's probably a good one to do. That's probably a good idea to have one like that so we can have some long-range spellcaster people. There's like an orc barbarian, another crossbow. Let's see. She kind of looks like a zombie. She could be good for the hospice people if they fight there. Some animal folks. I guess anybody who looks like they could be fighting. And then also, right, like, our players are not gonna have custom minis. And they might not have any minis, so hopefully we can paint something that they're like, yeah, I'll use that one. You know what I mean? and that'll kind of be the energy. I think most of the painting and such today is just gonna be putting a white coat on everything. Just putting coats down, unfortunately, but hey, that's the name of the game sometime. Did he lose one of his, yep, I actually remember throwing that away. These are a little fragile, because I got them for like a deal on Amazon, so he definitely lost a wing on his helmet, but that's okay. Oh, that's cool. Her armor's like textured. Wow, I like this. This is pretty cool. Wait, okay, so I'm sort of getting rid of the ones that we don't necessarily need to do. We don't need to do any of them, but like I don't think we're gonna need the golem guy. That guy's got swords on him, so I guess we could use him. We don't need the bard. The bard's not helpful here unless someone plays a bard, in which case, congrats. That's a wizard, okay. That's a little fighter guy. That's another fighter person. That could be our, we could use that as our king, because we should think about, that's a little princess girl, who we're gonna use to represent our big baddies too, because we need war, famine, and plague. So it's not gonna look exactly like them, but we definitely can use some folks to represent them. I thought some of these could work in here when I was looking at them. Some of these guys do have axes, so we could use them to represent the king, I think. Since we're gonna give him that hollow axe that Daggerheart has, that could work. That dude is cool. He's got an axe. He might work. And some of them are like slightly bulkier in form too. Oh, he's a dwarf with an axe. That's cool. That's fire. She looks like she's a wizard. That kind of looks like a necromancer. That's cool. And then I'll probably leave the creatures in here because we're not really going to need the creatures for the game we're running. That's somebody casting fireball. Okay. And then... It's another little like kobold dude. And then who's this person? Ooh, they've got a hammer. They're a warthog. I like that. And then last tiny one. Oh, right. He's an illithid guy, which is strictly D&D, so we don't want that. We're not going to use our Yeti. We're not going to use our big boy. So I'm going to put in some of these animal rider ones. And the kobolds and the music player bards. We don't need those. We don't need the mimic. We don't really need like the little girl princess. Little leprechaun guy. So we can coat the rest of them, I think could be useful. Okay, okay. So that is the plan. So let me pop on my music and switch screens. Ooh, and we're popping into horror. I love it. That's an interesting sentence to follow me, but it's the song horror. Over it. Alright, beautiful. Alright, and let me show you guys. Okay, so we're gonna base coat these guys with the black and Mod Podge first, even though you can see it's already got some of it. And I think I want to try and smooth the back of this out a little, just cutting wise. I'm hoping I don't fuck it up. We'll see. I'm a cheap little whore. Right, because I kind of want to make it like just even a little bit more. A dark cloud that follows me around like a virus with no cure. An angry cloud. You're a cheap little whore. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah, it's like slanted, I think, is the thing that throws me off. That's better, I think. Maybe. We're still a little slanted, I think. Might just have to be how it is, though. Follows me around with the virus with no cure. I like that better, at least. Okay. You're a cheap little whore. Like a virus with no cure. Alright, so let's get some painting done. Like I said, I don't like putting them on, mixing them separately like you're supposed to, so what you're about to see is gonna make every artist everywhere angry. But, oh well. Now we're only Mod Podge black mixing for these guys, because it creates like a base primer coat on the foam. Which we did figure out that we do actually need. We'll do the big one first. That's a clump. La da da na na. I'm about to see how much of these chunks are gonna fall off. I don't think I've heard this song before. Noah Fintz. I think it was playing me some of this last time too. He must be popping off. Fun. Uh-oh. Now I have to be like, which parts did I touch? Which parts didn't I touch? Did I touch this part? Damn it! And I did the wrong one. Thought this sounded like TX2. It's a slow one though. Oh yeah, there's little blue pieces left. little bit left in here. Oh. That glue just went straight into my hair. We love that. God damn it, I keep putting my fingers in it. Now, in theory, I don't need to go back over the parts of this that were already Mod Podge blacked, but if we've got it, we might as well. All it can do is strengthen the piece, I think. It's hard because like you want to paint the whole thing, but also you put your fingers on it, you're gonna take off some of that paint. I wonder if I can toothpick it, or honestly just use another piece of the... Ah! This is the fun part about being this kind of a person, is you end up getting paint everywhere. Whoop! There it goes, too much pressure. Alright, we'll let that one sit. Working in my skin. Feels within. Only and I'll always only be mine. It's probably the majority of the Mod Podge we're getting out of there. There's like bits and pieces, but trying to get it out is gonna be... Ooh! There it goes. Alright, well, we got it, so clearly make me a liar. Working in my skin. Something. If you wake your time, only you know always only be mine. Working in my skin, what I feels within. What good is lonely when I'll always only be mine? Ooh. That's a stark ending. And it switches to Nerdy Prudes Must Die. Okay. That's a choice. It is nonetheless true. That's not gonna do anything for us. Nasty. Okay. Evil people would lethal eyes. Just evil people, and now these evil people I know just a single fucking one of y'all. Come on. That is a late stream elements post, but okay. Alright, next one in the botch. I'm liking this banger too. Oh, it's Hollywood Undead, no wonder. Let's start a riot. Oh, peace and quiet. I don't think I can hold these ones with a paintbrush, so... I'm gonna get a lot of paint on my fingers. I think that's good. Let's start a riot! Lots of capes. Maybe I should do the person first, and then set them down and do the base. That could work. Let's start a riot! I don't know this one. It's giving me new songs today. I like it. Okay. Huh? Come on. Flip them up. Alright. Cool. Bum, 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 bum. You know, the intrusive thoughts in me want to just donk. That's funny. Kinda love it. I think all it really did was get an excess of paint that we didn't need. But worth the try. My brain is happy we did it. Yeah, he's gonna take a little extra to dry since we did that with all the extra paint. Found to be your favorite part about it so far. Do you like the characters? I think I'm pretty sure if you polled like Critical Role fans, I actually think Campaign 2, like if you polled them what is your favorite campaign, I genuinely think Campaign 2 is the one that would win. Which is kind of crazy, but I do think that's the case. But to be fair, I didn't even technically watch Campaign 1. I just watched Vox Machina, so... And I'm only watching the abridged of Campaign 3, so... I don't know if I count towards any of them, really. Magnolia Park? Yep. I think Caleb is my favorite so far. A lot of people like Caleb. I think Jester and Caleb are the two people like the most from that campaign, from what I understand. At least that's what I see the most in the, like, Tumblr and shit. Which makes sense because I don't know much about Caleb, but when Liam plays, like, a traditional sad boy character, he tends to nail it and, like, just really hits it out of the park. He's really good at his sad boy characters. So, and I know Caleb is a sad boy. So it makes sense why he would be a lot of people's favorites. Sounds about right? Yeah. Like, even me watching, the Candela stuff, when he was a player, I was very much like, I think the only reason he might be outdone by Sam in this one is because the character he was playing, while a sad boy and even a sad old man, which we do love our sad old men, possibly even more than sad boys. The one in Candela Obscura was like sad, but I don't know how to put it. Sad, but like the dad of the party. You know what I mean? So I didn't have as much like, oh no, this poor man, we love him and we need to save him. He was very much like, nah, I can die. It's all good. And so Sam owns that Candela campaign. Some people couldn't get into Campaign 1 because the audio wasn't great for a while, I think. That would make sense, yeah. And I know the story from it is quite different from the Vox Machina stuff. But I can totally see that, you know, audio is a big factor for a lot of people. My only water. I love this song. Your daughters, I'm not a vampire. But yeah, I could feel that energy where, like, if you're not good with, if quality matters to you, then yeah, I could see it being difficult to get into. I personally, you know, I mean, y'all already know, I like shows. I like things that are consistently, like, have me hooked. I'm not a put it on in the background casual person, so that's the only reason I don't watch the main campaign episodes, and it is why I enjoy the abridged episodes. But I can see it. Did you ever watch season 3? I did, and I finished it. Yes, a Vox Machina. I finished it too. You have to tell me what the differences are, because I know when I was reading up on it, Percy does die in the actual campaign, but not like how Vex died, where Revivify wouldn't work, right? They could Revivify Percy or something like that? I don't know. I don't know what the differences are. I have been told that I think the woman enemy, the Doctor, does die there in the campaign, even though she, like, doesn't die like that in the show. So I've heard it changes it up quite a bit, but I mean, I liked it. Again, haven't seen campaign 1, but I love the Vox Machina show. I like the way they're taking the storyline. I like the way they're developing Pike and all the other characters, even if it's possibly different. I always see stuff like that as the same thing as how I see, like, Batman in the DC universe. And it's one of the main reasons that I am a DC fan, is because to me, every new creation, like every new movie, TV series, animated show, comic book, is a whole new universe of Batman. It's not the same thing over and over, and it's not supposed to be. Like, that's the point. And so that's how I see all of the different iterations of, like, the Vox Machina TV show versus the campaign. But I know that if that's not your thing, right? If you're not a everything's its own version person, then that can be a little frustrating to watch the show and be like, what? Can't believe they changed this. But I quite liked it. I thought it was really good. I quite enjoy it. Is this the revamped? It is. Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. Beware, be skeptical. But a wolf in sheep's clothing is more than a warning. What the hell are morals? Alibi's a turning trick. How you're sleeping easy, how you're only thinking of yourself. Show me how you justify telling all your lies like second nature. You will pay, karma's gonna come collect her debt. Stock your prey with criminal mentality. Quite the problem. Percy does die in the fight against Ripley, but gets revived not long after. And Ripley gets killed by the party, if I remember that right, in the same encounter when they find that hideout area in season 3. That's what I thought, because I remember reading about the fandom and how it got changed. And I know some people wanted her death to be the same because they felt it was really like a cool redemption moment for Percy to, like, die and the entire party to, like, revenge kill her, essentially. Which I could see. I could definitely see that being like, oh, I wish that happened. But, she is a good villain. So, like, I can also see wanting to use her, you know? She's a very good villain. Start all over. Now, see, the fun part about these guys is we'll have to pick which one we want to represent our main baddies. Got a lot of axes to choose from for the king, that's for sure. Tell me how you're sleeping easy, how you're only thinking of yourself. They also get her vestige, unlike in season 3. Oh! Really? Wait, that's interesting. That's a pretty big change, isn't it? Huh. That feels like a very significant change. But they do have more seasons to go, so maybe they could still get it? I don't know. Huh. How do you feel about it, Dadley? Do you like them both? Both iterations? Or do you have a preference? Especially because, like, it's very much Percy's story, right? Like, as much as they may not meant for it to be, Vox Machina is very much, like, all about Percy. Like, Percy's kind of the main character. And I know you like Percy. Of course, we have no evidence of that whatsoever. So it's gotta be interesting to see it. I like both versions? Okay, cool. Keyleth also got a vestige in the campaign after the fight with the ice dragon. Oh, she gets one too, huh? Interesting. I do know they plan on walking through her arc a little bit more. So maybe that's why she hasn't got hers yet. I'm pretty sure that's what they said in some sort of interview, is like, because they've been renewed for the next season, so I think they were gonna walk on her arc a little more and develop that. What do you, what's your favorite part about both versions? That's probably the best way to put it. So if we like both versions, then what's the different things that we like? We're getting there. We'll do the big demon guy. Loveless. Interesting. So many bands that Google's playing to me that I have not heard before. Huh. Big fan of the Briarwood arc. I mean, how can you not be a fan of the Briarwood arc? Like, we know I'm a dragon fanatic, right? I fucking love dragons more than, like, any bitch on the planet, but that Briarwood arc, man. That Briarwood arc genuinely is, like, so fucking good. And I think it's hard to beat because it's a classic plot line, but at the same time, it feels like an original take on a classic plot line because it's like her doing it specifically for him versus just like, I want power. She's like, no, I want you to live forever. Like, it's like an evil Morticia Addams thing. And it's really good. Oh, I like this song. I'm liking this beat. Voila. Huh. I like the pacing a bit more in the show compared to the campaign, but I missed some of the encounters that was cut from the campaign, but understood why they were cut. What encounters did they cut? Because I don't know any, so I can assume there's quite a bit. But I don't know any of them. Because, you know, it's, what, 500 hours or something? Crazy amount. Ah? Okay. We'll do the fireball caster. There is a good variety in these minifigures, though. For buying like a pack of 50 for 25 bucks on Amazon, really pretty good. The party all went to the fire plane. They spent more time in hell and more time in the Feywild. Oh! That would be kind of cool. I do think the Feywild and the hells are really fun. Those would be cool things to see for sure. I mean, I love, in the Campaign 3 stuff, I love Fern and all her interactions in, like, the Feywild and stuff. That's fun. So I could see it being fun to explore that more. You're okay and I'm fine. Oh, he's British. YouTube has been playing me songs from this artist. Their name is No Offense, and it's like pop punky. I'm like, okay, if it's the genre, I'm enjoying some of the songs. It's chill. And there's a thing where a lot of singers, because American creations and America has such a big stronghold on the media market, a lot of times people with other accents, when they sing, their accent will disappear and they'll sound like American. And it's because all of the stuff that they've been influenced by is the American accent. And we have had a couple songs of this guy play, and I'm listening to him sing. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then he just had a line of dialogue where he spoke instead of sung in this song I'm listening to. And I was like, oh, That boy's British! Would never have known. Damn. Because he's very much got the quote-unquote punk accent occurring when he sings. So I would never have noticed. I feel like one of these big bulky guys with the axes are gonna be the piece we use for the king. Because we know the king's gonna have the axe and we kind of want him to be like traditional barbarian style, fighter style. Some of it was random encounters and combat that wasn't major for the storyline and kind of side quest stuff. Ah, okay. Yeah, then they do have to cut it. It is inevitable. But I guess that's why, you know, you can tell people, like, watch the campaign. If you want all of that stuff, you can go ahead and watch it. It's still free on their thing on YouTube, isn't it? I would assume so. Our chairs still aren't quite dry yet. Oh, this one's kind of like a Greek goddess. She's got the whole... kind of like Athena coated. Yeah, she's got like the whole drapery on. And the shield and the pole arm. Another one. Yes, it's free. Yeah, so if people want all that stuff, they can at least watch the campaign. That would be fun. This guy is like the shirtless with his abs out mini. That'd be funny if we use this one for the king. That'd be so fucking funny. I almost, because in Daggerheart there's different, like, species. I almost made the king, like, the cat species so that I could make him a lion. But, the abilities for the cat were not quite what I wanted to build him as. Although it doesn't particularly matter, because we don't have to use those abilities for NPCs. But that's okay. Maybe he'll still be a lion. I just think it'd be funny for, like, you know, the king to be a lion, like the Pride and stuff. King of the Pride Lands. Especially if, like, his son is a lamb, and then we really hit home the Jesus archetype. Son of the lamb. That would be funny. A tabaxi. Yeah. I think that'd be funny if, like, the king is a lion, And then the sun, who's supposed to represent like Jesus, is a lamb because the sun is the Lamb of God. But I don't know what we would make the Harbinger then, because it feels weird to make her a demon, because she's the one who's like, maybe she's like in a celestial style. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, if she's bringing it all about, she's got to be celestial, right? That would be funny. Maybe we'll do that, because I want to really hit the theming hard over the head. Like, I don't want there to be an even a second of not understanding the comparisons. Like, I want it to be like first grade, not even first grade, like kindergarten level comparisons, basically, of like, the sun is the lamb. Or a Kenku, the bird race. Oh, that could be cool. Oh, what if the, you know what might be incredible irony, speaking of the bird folks? What if our queen, our little harbinger of the end, like world destruction. Oh no, I got paint on my laptop. Okay, what if our literal harbinger of like the apocalypse, our queen, is a dove? Because doves are for peace? I feel like that'd be the funniest irony ever. If she's a fucking dove and is literally... Actually, that would work for him too, because he's for war. That might actually be better for him if he's a fucking dove, but he's the horseman of war. That's even more ironic. Yo, we might have to do that. You know what, Dadley? We might have to do that. I think that'd be fucking hysterical. He can be like the Rito in Zelda, but his like color scheming is based on like a dove. That would be fucking fire. That would be cool. We could also make abilities around like species and stuff. So if he ends up being like a bird species, then I feel like he'd be really... Oh my god, he's a bird species and I'm giving him an axe. Somebody make it less obvious that Sarah was my favorite character in Calamity. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I swear it's a coincidence. Be your skeleton, skeleton. Bones, crack my ribs and make me whole. Kenku is a cursed race that can only speak in mimicry, too, and can't really say what they want, but they can say anything accidentally. Oh, that's funny. Oh, accidentally hit send early again. Ah, that's funny. Well, it wouldn't be the same for our show, simply because that technically doesn't exist. But we can manipulate whatever we want. Like, I think it'd be hysterical if he was like a bird person. That would be so funny. Especially like a dove, because of peace. God, that's funny. And then he could have like fighting abilities around it. Like he could be extra agile or something. Because he can fly, literally. I also kind of want him to be the kind of, fighter, like the classic fighter who will offer his opponent like a one-on-one. You know what I mean? Like the picture I have in my head is when they go back to him and they realize they have to like fight him and kill him, that whoever is the fighter of the player party is gonna be like, we're not gonna let you do this. And War is gonna be like, be a man, you know, like show me your honor, fight me one-on-one. That type of thing. And if you beat me, I'll surrender. Obviously, he's gonna play dirty and not do a one-on-one fight, but that's the way I see it, is like, his personality is very like, show me your honor type of energy. I think that'd be funny for a bird to do, because he literally would be like a bird that wears no armor, drops all their like weapons and is just like, fight me. Like, bro, what? You are framed like a bird. You're gonna be easy to break. I think that'd be cool to have a beefy bird. Aarakocra is the other bird race. Oh, I think that's the one that Travis was in Calamity. Was that one. I think that's the one I know of too. It looks a bit more traditional. And I feel like with an Aarakocra we could make him like regal, right? Because that's the energy I want, is I still want him to appear very regal. I think there are a lot of bird species that appear very like pretty and fancy, even though they can kick your ass. And that's kind of the energy. Maybe he will be this. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if I feel like that sounds right. Okay, okay. We'll have to see if that feels better than the lion. Because I do like the lion just because it's, like, traditional. You know, that's the way you see things, is like the king of the pride. But as much as I want to go, like, obvious resembling stuff, I do want some, you know, we got some creativity. And I think that would sound pretty creative to have a bird be the king. And then I wonder what we could have the rest of the other horsemen be. Like, Death is not gonna have a form. Death is essentially a changeling, where there like is no solid form. They just take up multiple different visages. But Famine, I'm not sure. I think Famine maybe could be a giant, because I picture him like the Duke from Resident Evil Village is exactly how I picture Famine. So I feel like that might fit best with either like a frog person or a giant, but I'm not sure. And then Plague could be anything. Is Skeleton like a species? Can he just straight up be a skeleton? Like, I know you could like necromance alive skeletons, but I mean, this isn't D&D, so I guess we can make him a skeleton if we want. It would explain why he can't die. Huh. There is a lion race called a Leonin. Oh, cool. Why not a giant frog person? Wait, that's perfection. Hello, by the way. Has Hut's blessing? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but hello and welcome. What a way to come in, literally. So our campaign is, let me turn down my music a little bit here. They're yelling in my ears. So, we're talking about our show that we're recording in June, and, our main villains are like the 4 horsemen. So we were debating on whether or not what to make them all. And War, we're considering making either a lion or a bird. But, yeah, I never even thought of like a giant frog person, because that's the way I see Famine, the horseman, Famine. And if you've ever played Resident Evil Village, I just picture him as this like giant of a man, like the Duke from that game. And he's just very like, he's not as nice as the Duke, which is a little weird to say because if you play the DLC, the Duke is not nice, but he's as like influential and persuasive. Like when you talk to him, you can't help but like him even though you're annoyed, where he's very much like, welcome, how are you? And that energy. So I feel like he needs the presence to go with it. The community the name is from doesn't know either. That's so funny. If it's easier, you can call me Hash, Hashi, Hashu, Hasut, Hasuts, Blessings, HB, or something else. I love all these beautiful options you've given me. I will call you Blessing. How about that? Because you are a blessing to the people in your life. There you go. I tend to say it as Hashut's blessing. Oh. Well, maybe I'll vary between them then. Works for me and super kind. Well, listen, everybody's a blessing to somebody, whether you know it or not. So, to somebody you are, even if it's to yourself. But yeah, I appreciate you popping in. You can see I am covered in paint. I'm just doing kind of base coats of all of the mini stuff. They're just meant to be like random enemy minis, so I'm just trying to get like basic color on them after they dry. I'm not looking to do super fine details, but I've never done combat or anything before, so it's my first time painting minis, which is going to be very interesting. We got a few examples. We were working on like cultist energy, like classic cultist kid, if it'll show it. I don't know if it will. Yeah, like that kind of jazz. And some more like gross zombie-ish people for our plague horsemen. Been lurking a little bit and working at the same time. Nice to get some mobs sorted for your game. Oh, no way! Well, thanks for lurking. I appreciate that. I'm always a part of it. I don't have the numbers, like, as something that I see, so I never know if people are lurking or if it's just me and Dadley and other folks chatting. I'm sure you'll do just grand. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thankfully, I've game mastered before. I've just never done a game that has combat. I'm very, narrative theater of the mind, so I'm hoping it goes well. I am expecting my players who have done combat before to fully fuck me up, but that's okay, because I think that's part of the fun. Unless the one guy who's done combat decides not to play an attacker and decides to play a supporter, which would be kind of funny. What about using a hollow one like Laudna in Campaign 3? Ooh, Dadley, that could be good for our Horsemen of Plague. I like that energy. Hollow territory. Dadley, do you know any facts about like how a hollowed one, like what are they supposed to be? Are they like, zombie style? Are they like dead people? Is there a specific energy that comes with it? Gotta love some plague zombies. Oh yeah. I always suggest streamers to not have their viewer count up and just enjoy the stream instead. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that energy. And we're very much like, I usually do just chatting, but my community has been aware that for the past month and probably the next month, we're mostly gonna be painting and crafting. So it's chill to just pop in and lurk and stuff. Because I know that when we're working on crafts and painting and jazz, sometimes there's a little less talking, and that's okay. Because I've got screamo music in my ear. So I can function just fine. But, yeah, I love talking with folks. We're gonna be hang with the filthy tongue, so I can't throw it up. It just said our guts if this is left. I don't wanna be hanging by the neck. Audience of death. Ooh, this wheelchair is not attached well, okay. I always... Oh, I already read that, okay. Fire me and wake me up now. It's one of my favorite songs. Find me. I'm running out of places to put them. I'm running out of places to put them. The cyanide surprise you have left for my eyes. If I had common sense, I'd cut myself or curl up and die. Love this song. I don't think I've listened to a lot of their other music, but I don't know, man. This song hit something in me. We're just stealing our guts. If this is love, I don't wanna be by the neck. Oh, for the hollow one. Resurrected with necromantic magic. brought back without their soul, but still their sense of self. Actually, that might be perfect for the Horsemen of Plague. Dadley, thank you for letting me know that that is what that is, because that's kind of perfect for him. Because we could argue that to explain why he, like, can't die, so to speak. And we could also argue it for, like, all of his minions and why they can't die. That could be good energy. Thank you, Dadley, for that suggestion. So that gives species to our Horsemen of Plague. And then War will either be a bird or a lion. And then Famine can be a giant frog. I love it. Who's left? Death is a changeling for sure. Oh, that still leaves us, I guess our Harbinger of the Apocalypse, Celestial, is like fine. But it's just so boring, you know what I mean? Like, I want her to be something fun. Or ironic, who knows? Or plays well into her character, I don't know. They're also ageless and immune to aging effects. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, because that's exactly what he is he has committed his life to taking care of all the sick people. Because he doesn't age or get sick. And then he deals in all the poisons and stuff. That's perfect. Ooh, I'm glad that that worked out so well. Dang. I'm debating whether or not I should try and make, like, stat blocks and everything for them from the beta materials that are out. Or if I should wait until the game releases, and I assume the official game will release with some enemy and boss stat blocks, and I can just sort of copy and paste? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to create them myself. I really have no experience in it. But maybe I should. I don't know. I'm not too concerned with, like, stat blocks because I genuinely plan on... I know not everyone likes to play this way, but my players are aware. I genuinely plan on, like, saying fuck it to the health stats and things. And if I think they're having too much trouble when they shouldn't be, I'll change it. And vice versa. I am a little worried. D&D on the brain, I love it. The thing I don't know for, like, creating the villains and the enemies, the thing I'm worried about is, like, I have no concept on how much dice they should be rolling in order to, like, keep things accurate. Because I know in D&D, there's stuff like legendary actions. In Daggerheart and stuff, they don't have that. At least not in the beta. So, I don't know if there's gonna be, like... And I know balancing is gonna come after, but we're not gonna get to play with any balance patches they do, because we're gonna be doing it right away. So... I don't know how to figure out, like, how much dice they should be rolling when they hit. If anything should have, like, limits on how many times they can do stuff. Because so far, there's no, like, spell slots in Daggerheart either. So I don't know. I don't know. Although, I don't think any of them... No, they will be doing, like, status effects and stuff, so I guess those would be spells if they're gonna be able to enact status effect. That's the part that I haven't been able to figure out, is creating, like, the enemy stuff. And I think I want to take it from their examples and then just rearrange wording and keep their, like, dice numbers. I just don't know if I should take it from the beta enemies or wait for the official one. I assume the official game should come out with enemy stuff. It should. It would be crazy not to come out with, like, here's a whole stat block list of enemies. You know what I mean? There's no way they wouldn't. To be fair, you can adjust on the fly. The players won't know the stat block, and you can adjust to whatever suits the story best. You don't want to underpower, and you want a get out if you've overpowered them at that point in time. Blessing, I appreciate that. I think we're gonna end up doing that a lot. Especially since I've never done it. I worry a little bit about overpowering my dudes. But thankfully, since we do it as a show and not as like a home game or a casual game or anything, we're like telling a show, they are aware that like they need to tell me if something would kill them or if they're about to die, because they don't get to die until the story is done. Like, if you want to die in the last second to last or the last episode, then I can kill you. I can hit you with the final boss and I can do as much damage as possible. But not until then, because, you can't die in the first episode unless we have it planned that you're going to and we want to surprise the table, which I have talked about with some of my players before. At the moment, no one wants to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. The glory of improv. Oh, fun. It's a show as well. Yes. We've done so we make horror shows here. Our community builds them and creates like plot and characters and creatures. And then I hire actors and we run a show through the game system. So our first two shows are using the Candela Obscura system. They're on YouTube. Our very first one is traditional, like, super long, like 4-hour campaign episodes. There's only 3 of them because it was the first time I'd ever done it at all, like game mastered at all, let alone anything else. So it's interesting, but it may not be your energy. The second show, though, is Circle the Decaying Light. Each episode is only up to an hour and a half. They don't go longer than that. And there's sound effects and artwork, and it's, in my opinion, really good and enjoyable. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend checking out the second one we did, which is free on YouTube, or if you'd prefer to listen on Spotify. But anyways, I will stop plugging. I don't mean to plug. I'm really proud of what we did for that one. So I'm excited to do this one, because this one, we're going to use the Daggerheart system, which comes out officially on May 20th, because it's still going to be a horror show, and I'm partially using the system because there is a... Absolutely love that, thank you! You could use a race with celestial heritage, like an Asimir, Ardling, or a Diva. Okay, I only know of the Asimir. What are the other two, Dadley? What do they look like? What are they? A character death here or there isn't the worst, but a party wipe and early on is less ideal for sure. That's a good point, especially because there's only 4 of them. Party wipe would be bad. Can be good to have a Deus Ex Machina to get out of dodge, if only temporarily. Actually, that's a really good point. Blessing, I might make one. You know what? Actually, I might make one. That's a good idea. Nobody's come to me wanting to be like a cleric either. So maybe I will like be like, hey, does anybody want to be like a cleric or something and maybe have like a free revive with a god or something? That's a good idea. But yeah, I'm excited for this show. We're using the Daggerheart system because I make horror and dramatic shows, and there is sort of a thing where it's very hard, if not possibly impossible, to make something horror out of a fantasy-based system and world. It's not technically impossible, but it's very, very difficult because horror games, horror TTRPGs, fantasy universes and game systems like D&D and Daggerheart are meant to make your players feel empowered as they go. That's the point of fantasy. Whereas horror ones like Vampire the Masquerade, Blades in the Dark, Candela are meant to depower your players until eventually they like go insane and die and the world goes under, right? So it's a lot harder to do a horror campaign in a system that is built to A, empower your players, and B, be hopeful. So I wanted to take on the challenge of going like, you know what? We can do this. I think we have the skill, me, you guys as the community, the actors that join me as players. I think we have the ability to tell something horrific and tragic and dramatic, because they're really horror tragedies, if we're being honest. Because I love me some sad moments. Every time I make a player cry, it's the best day of my life. But I think we have the ability and the skill to tell a story like that in a fantasy universe. And so that's why we're doing it this time around. Glad my random unsolicited thoughts are potentially helping. Oh, they're super helping. I will take, genuinely, any insight or advice or thoughts you have. I will always listen to them. Because, like, y'all's thoughts are so helpful to me. Ardlings share a bloodline with animalistic celestials that have animal heads. Dadley, I love that. Wait, that would make her so creepy. I would love for our main villain to be like one of those animal heads. Oh, that'd be so creepy, like a griffin or something. Yeah. Divas are tall, immortal, humanoid creatures whose spirits have been reincarnated over and over. Oh, that's cool too. Wait, that's more I was gonna say more better. Lord help me. That's better for her because she has seen that's essentially what she is, right? The plot y'all created for her was that she has seen the world and the creatures of the world sin, in quotes, over and over and over and over for thousands of years, and that's why she's ushering in the apocalypse, is because they have sinned and they must be punished and purified in fire. I love it. I guess it's finding the balance between empowering them and making them hopeful, only for that to not be enough as they fall into despair, whether they overcome that in the end or not. Yeah, that's beautiful, Blessing. You worded it so well. Oh my gosh, you worded it so well. That is genuinely the truth. Is like, I think the way that horror will work if we do it correctly is being able to like make them feel like they have the capability, because, you know, they're gonna defeat the first horseman and they're gonna defeat the second horseman, and it's gonna be hard, but they're gonna defeat the third horseman. So that way, when the time they get to the finale, right, they feel like they've been through so much and they're so strong as a party, and they can do this and they can save the world. And then it's like, bam, reality check. No, you can't. You are just you in a sea of millions. Like, and I think that'll be so fun. Like the floods in Noah, exactly. The whole inspiration for, we usually have a theme for each season. So our first season, our first Candle Obscura show, the theme was like time and memory. Our second was underwater. And this one, the theme is religious. So specifically, I grew up Catholic, so there's a lot of Catholic and Christian and Bible like mythology and ideologies mixed into it, into the horror. So yes, the floods in Noah. The show is gonna be called. Am I leaking the title right here, right now? Fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Hold on. Fuck it. Let me pause. Everybody who's not here is gonna miss it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll say it again on Monday. The official title for the literally title drop. The official title for our third show. I was playing back and forth with a few things because the theme is religious, and the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The main thing was in Catholicism, the idea of the second coming, right? Which is where like Jesus comes back down and he judges all the people and sends you either to heaven or hell, and the world ends. So for a while I was like, well, I don't want to call it the second coming. So what can I do that references that and feels like a part of that without calling it that? So the official title is The Last Judgment. That is the official title. The Last Judgment is going to be the name of the show. Because that's the whole thing, is they will think, isn't it cool? I love it so much. I love it so much. Also, I don't know what text this is because I don't see the maybe I should pull up the Twitch chat. It's green on my screen. Did you make it green? Oh, green means it's italicized. Oh, okay. More corpses on the pile of failures that paved the road before them. Let's go. Yes, Dadley. Judgment Day. Dadley, that's exactly what I thought. Was how do I do the second coming without saying the second coming? What's the other thing that is called in Christian ideology? Judgment Day. And so I called it the Last Judgment. And I think it's really cool. And obviously I don't tell the players the plot that we create or anything, but they do know the theme so that safety tools can work. And it's really funny because we have established that I'm really bad at creating a mystery. So I was telling them, I was like, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a religious, specifically like Catholic influence theme. If you want to do any research, you will figure out what's happening. But if you don't, have fun, so if they start figuring out that they're fighting the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, then I think it will be funny because they'll get to the last horseman, which is War, and they'll fight him and they'll want to kill him, being like, okay, we've defeated them all in order to save the planet. But what we decided was, we as a community, was that's actually a trick, and they'll defeat War as the last horseman, thinking they've saved them because they defeated the horsemen. But then the queen goes, thanks for doing all my hard work. Now the apocalypse can start because I was the actual one starting the apocalypse. And then they're like, oh no. And she's like this all-powerful magical being. We ordered a custom mini from Titancraft. I hope it gets here in a couple weeks for me to paint it. The horsemen were preventing it kind of thing. Kind of exactly that, Blessing. They don't knowingly understand that they're preventing it, but they certainly aren't trying to start it. Because War is like, yeah, exactly. Because War is, he's running a whole kingdom, right? He's arrogant, he's egotistical, he has absolutely no clue that his queen is manipulating him to be like cruel and violent so that the players want to kill him and start the apocalypse. He just wants to have kingdoms, right? And the other horseman, Famine's just selfish, so he has no interest in starting the apocalypse. He's like, bro, I just want to toy with people. And then Death just does his job. Death is just here to pass people on to the other plane. That's it. That's all he does. You can't stop him. You never will. He has no interest in what people do. And then when they get to the Horsemen of Plague is when they have the chance, and I think I'll probably do it to a certain extent, even if they don't take the chance. But it's where they have a chance to hear the truth, essentially, because the Horsemen of Plague, unlike the other ones that they're gonna fight, will not be like evil. Like, he's not bad, he's not vindictive. Literally his whole thing is that him and his people are immortal, they can't die, and his people, I don't want to spoil too much because I do create a little bit that you guys don't know of in order to keep surprises, so I did do something. It's a bit of surprise, I won't spoil it. But something happened to curse his people with the plague, but not him. And they're all immortal. So that means his people have to eternally suffer in sickness and illness that will never be cured and they can never die from. So it's eternal suffering, which is meant to mimic the idea of like eternal suffering in hell. But in this case, all of those people are like innocent, good people. And so when they get to Plague and they see all these people suffering, they're gonna think like, oh, Plague is causing this because Horsemen of Plague. But they'll have the opportunity, if they take it, to actually talk to him. Where he will be like, I'm not the one who did this. I have dedicated my life to easing as much of these people's pains as I can, since none of us can die. And that's the moment that they as players are supposed to go, huh, if he's telling the truth, what does that mean? Loving all the allegories, thank you. I have been having so much fun creating this one. I'm really excited about it. I'm so glad we chose it as like a theme and stuff. It's been, oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. And all of their names are based in like, I call it Catholic lore. My apologies to anyone out there who doesn't like it to be referred that way. But like, Famine's name is Archmichaelis after the Archangel Michael. The players, the wait a minute meme, literally. The old Mitchell and Webb sketch of, are we the bad guys? That's exactly what I want this one to be, because the first two shows, they have been the good guys. They have been the heroes. They might have been a little selfish in some aspects, but they were never the bad guys. Like in our Decaying Light, I won't spoil too much, but there's a specific moment where I literally offer one of the players to kill the other player. And there was not a second's hesitation of him looking at me and going, no, absolutely not. And I was like, I'm just offering. But they've been the good guys for so long that I know they're gonna come into this show, because we have a lot of returning players from our second show. We still need a few new ones, but we have a couple returning players for our second show. I know they're gonna come back with hero characters, and they're gonna think they're playing the good guys, because they always have been. And so I really want to throw them on their head that as they start killing them, they're like, oh no, we're the bad guys. Like, because they're gonna be, it's gonna create the best acting moments, because I know all of them at the table are gonna go like immediately, and I'm so excited. And I know one of them is gonna look at me and go, Rachel. And I'm gonna be like, oh no. Like, I'm so excited. Oh my god, I love them so much. I'm excited to bring new people into the fray, but like, oh my lord, they're fantastic people. And so I'm very excited about it. And they're very creative, which is usually what I look for in my players and my actors, is like, I am the most fuck the rules, like fuck the system GM you will ever meet in your life. It does not matter what we're playing. I am always narrative based, which, to be fair, as my like clear ass bald spot is going, I swear I got JoJo Siwa hairline. Hey, thanks for following, friend. I appreciate it. I also love that emote that comes up when it happens, the alert that happens. But yes, I'm like super, oh my god, my whole brain lost its whole thought. Oh no. Where did it go? Oh no. Nope, it's gone. It's fully gone. Oh no. F the rules, narrative based GM. Thank you, Dadley. This is why I love you guys. Thank you, Dadley. Literally was fully gone. Yes, I am very like, because I make shows and I don't do a lot of casual stuff, I am very narrative is all that matters. So it does not matter, thank you, Dadley. It does not matter if like one of my players sits down and go and like looks at me and is like, I want to do something that like we fully, this is not how this works, but I want the ability to work this way. And I literally will sit there and go, what do you want? And then they'll tell me, and they'll go, can I do that? And I'll look at them and go, what are you willing to pay for it? Literally, I'm like, what are you willing to give me for it in order for it to work? Like, if you've ever seen a Bria Iyengar DM, I am the same way, where I'm like, and what are you willing to offer me if I say yes? Like, because I've already had players in in the season 2, one of my lovely players literally came to me. We love him to death. He literally came to me and he was like, I want to have this like Jekyll and Hyde thing happening, and when it like overtakes me, I want you to take control. And it warmed my heart because I am the same type of player as I am a GM. I want everything a normal player doesn't want to be done in my game. I want you to do like crazy horror shit. I want you to mind control my characters and take them over. I want you to like inhibit my abilities and change things. I just love it. I don't know, I like to be tortured. It's the horror fan in me. So when I had him come to me and say like, this is what I want, and in exchange, you get control. And I specifically asked, you can certainly try. That's right, Dadley. That's right, Dadley. But I specifically asked, I said, okay, what do you mean by I get control? And he goes, well, I want you to have control in a mechanical way. Like, I physically want you to be able to do something that takes my agency away. And I was like, all right, in exchange for this, like, power ability that we're not going to tell the rest of the table, so you can whip it out whenever you want, I think he said it, but somehow it was said where they were like, I would get control over the dice that he rolled. And so I remember being like, you understand what that means, right? You understand what that means if I get control over your dice rolls? And he's like, yeah. And so, again, no spoilers for when or who or where, but there is a incredible moment where I swear to God the other players were literally about to jump across the table and strangle me, because in the episode, you can see when you watch it, or even listening, he rolls a, like, critical success. And they're excited about it. And I just look at him and I go, but I don't have to give that to you, do I? Because you gave me control over your dice rolls. And nobody else at the table knew that he had done this. So they were looking at me like, Rachel, how dare you? You're not allowed, like a game master's not allowed to do that. You can he rolled, you have to abide by the dice. You have to obey the dice roll. And me and him are looking at each other like, I already have consent. Like, it was such a good moment. It's one of my favorite moments from that show, was when everybody else was like, you can't do that. And I was like, yes, I can. Oh my God, it was so much fun. That moment is is one of my favorites. And then there's another like narrative story moment that I will not spoil. But some really scary, intense, emotional stuff happens in that season. And they just knocked it out of the park acting. Knocked it out of the park. And it's funny because Molly, who's one of our players, we love her. She has, because I leave a lot of stuff open to interpretation because I don't like to give answers. And so she was like, hey, what actually happened here? And I answered her with what I thought. I was like, this is the way I see it, but I'll never like be like, that's has to be canon. And she responded to me with like, no, I refuse to accept that. You're not allowed to make that canon. Absolutely not. This is the way it happened. I was like, fair enough. Like, so funny. Because she was like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, I don't like that. I was like, okay. Aww. Fantastic. I love them very, very much. Do I still have a cat with me? He was here somewhere. You might hear them squeaking around. Got my boys. But yes, anyways, sorry. I do not mean to fangirl and all that stuff about stuff we've done, but I just love being creative and working with other people. And they do such cool work that I try and put as much effort as I can to make it enjoyable for them and make a really good product. And we're filming this season with the religious horror in this room. So we're gonna have blood red walls. I'm so excited for the blood red walls. I'm so, like, I don't know why I'm excited about the blood red walls, but I'm excited about the blood red walls. It's gonna be so on theme. Oh my God. Super suitable, literally blessing. And They don't know this. They'll find out very quickly. I don't tell them like anything. This is my favorite part. But you guys know I get props and we make a whole set in the background. Well, my sister's usually the one who gets a lot of the props. I like give her the theme and she goes and she finds stuff, or we find stuff together. I was telling her that because we have 4 horsemen and then our queen, who is the main evil villain, that's the surprise, that we needed something. The example would be candles, right? Where we could snuff each one out or get rid of each one or add to each one as they kill each one of the horsemen until there's one left and it's the queen, right? And so we were thinking, okay, maybe candles, maybe like paint or something, whatever. She found a nice visual representation to count down the foes. Exactly, Blessing. You're 100% correct, right? And it would be like a little Easter egg for you guys who know what's happening in the background, and it would be a way for the players to realize what's happening. Candles, but then the queen is revealed and it's a candelabra for the BBEG. Let's go. I love that. That's so fancy and god tier. It's like, ooh, just kidding. Like, so here's what we settled on, because not settled. Here's what we found. And I love it. So at the beginning of episodes, I do like a not me being a lighting designer. Are you for real, Blessing? Blessing, if you're a lighting designer, I'm about to send you my stage script. Because at the moment it's getting postponed, but the other goal we had as a community for this year was to put on a horror stage show. About to send you my script and be like, how we do this? Like, oh my god. I'm an actor first, but I've done a lot of lighting design, do a lot of theater and film work, or did. Blessing. I'm about to literally be like, read through this. Tell me how to do the lighting. Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Wait, that's fire. That's so cool. I'm a theater kid too. But I never did like professional theater, just like communities. And then I went to college for acting. So I technically have a bachelor's degree in it. But you can see where I am. But that's so fire. Blessing about to be a blessing. Literally. Blessing about to rain down blessings on us, okay? So glad you're here. Oh my god. But yes, okay, so the thing for the BBEGs and the stuff, what we decided on, what we found we really, really like, is I do monologues to show me as the narrator, or the, very much if you've ever played like the Until Dawn, how the psychiatrist is kind of like a narrator to the player. I am that for the shows that we do. So for like the monologues and stuff, they won't think that it's in context of the game, because the monologues are outside of what they know as characters. It's speaking to the audience. So my sister found a decanter set with a big, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like alcohol. But for a big like glass pillar with a cork at the top and 4 crystal glasses. And the idea is, I don't drink, so we'll fill them with like something that looks like blood. But the idea is, each monologue after they kill a horseman, I'm gonna pour myself like a glass, or there'll be 4 glasses filled and I drink one. And they won't think anything of it. They might associate it, but they won't think much of it. And then when they defeat the last one and the queen comes out, I'm literally going to be like, the queen thanks you, as you see her pull out a crystal decanter as I like pull it from behind me and start pouring a glass. Literally blessing a toast to their departure. Exactly. And they're gonna be like, oh no. Like, it was a part of this the whole time. Maybe I'll maybe take a look, but serendipity that a Warhammer nerd and a theater filmmaker ended up finding you, who is basically doing the same. Literally, Blessing. Genuinely, that is the universe at work. And do not feel, would I love for you to look at it? Sure. But that is not your job. Do not feel pressured, okay? You have shown up and we appreciate you being here, even if you completely disappear and decide never to come back, right? Like, I would never put that kind of pressure on you. Don't worry about it. It's just in the universe. I put everything out in the universe. But yeah, literally, I'm so excited about this decanter set, especially when they realize, here's the thing I was thinking. So the monologues are technically outside of the game sphere, right? They're talking to the player. But then I bring it in as the queen, as she pours the last glass, and they're like, oh fuck. Should we make the queen be the one giving these monologues to the audience? Like outside of the game? Because I'm not opposed to this. They've always been separate, you know, storyteller monologues. But I'm not opposed to this time around, it's her giving the monologues to the audience watching. That could be interesting. It would add a bit of vitriol to it, because obviously she's a little like, maybe a little spiteful. Well, that would depend if they win. Maybe she's not spiteful. Who knows? That's only if they defeat her. So, but it could be cool to have her be doing the monologues. Maybe I'll write them in her point of view, because that would really throw the players off. Because then they would really think that I'm just the normal narrator. And then when the queen starts talking, they're like, oh, okay. That could be cool. The only thing with that is that means her regular voice would have to be my voice, which isn't the worst. Well, what we could do is technically she doesn't reveal her true form until all the horsemen are dead. So we could do it that the queen form, in quotes, is like a very soft, like a, thank you for being here, and I treasure you, and I know the king does too, and please be safe on your journey. And then when they kill all the horsemen, then it can be like a, thank you for doing my work type of energy that could transition back to the monologues. That could work well. Just go all Galadriel on them. Yo, that is exactly the vision I have. Literally, that's the exact vision I have for her. Is straight up Galadriel energy. You nailed it on the head. And in place of a lord, you would have a queen. Let's go. Let's go. That's correct. That's correct. Like, fully the energy. Fully. Oh my god. It's funny because I think the villains in... No, technically the villain in the first season was a guy. But they fully skirted him. It was so funny because me having never GM'd before, I made who I thought was going to be like the BBEG for the first show. And all the players met him and liked him. And so the BBEG just ended up being a different lady who was mean. And they're like, nah, we don't like this bitch. She's now the BBEG. And from that point forward, all my BBEGs have been women. But you know what? Slay, because we're the best villains, okay? Oh, indeed. It was so funny because I made like a casual like, I take people's life force in exchange for deals. And all the players were like, well, I mean, you're a little slimy, but like they do give you consent, so we don't like you, but fair enough. And then the woman was hiding information from them. So straight up not telling them things or telling them lies. And they were like, no, we will never be okay with someone lying to us. That's not allowed. And so you're the BBEG now. And I was like, okay. Then that's where we're going with this. Oh, Lord. Ursula from The Little Mermaid, literally. That's very much what he was. I think his name is like Zachariah, which fits him perfectly. That's very, very much who he was. He was like, hello, darling. Which was cool energy. And then, well, I can't spoil the second one. So, technically, no, I can't even say yes or no. I've already said it's a woman in the second one, so that is where I will leave it. But that one just finished in December, so I don't want to spoil it just because of... I think that one's fun. I'm not good at mysteries, but I think that one's fun. And I think there's only a few options that it could be, so that's okay. But that's that's an escape one. It's weird because I feel like the more of these I make, the closer to video games they become. Because I really like I don't know why, but for me, like, I'm a horror person, but if you ask a lot of horror people, they're usually like horror movie fans. I actually don't like movies all that much. I'm a horror video game person. I love horror games. And so the first one was kind of just playing with stuff. The second one was very much an escape, like an escape before everything goes wrong. That's the style horror game it was. Like, not Arkham, like Outlast style, getting out of there. Any particular favorite horror games or franchises? I love Outlast and the stuff they do. So Outlast was very what we did for our second show, but underwater. Because we did like an escape mentality and like the building, like the space itself. There was a lot of psychological horror happening. Personally, there's a few that I really, really love. Always difficult to be hyped and flowing and want to tell and then release spoilers. I know, blessing. And to be fair, right? Like, I could just tell you, it's my content. It's already fully out, but I'll leave it alone. So, I like the Outlast Asylum one. And there's a few horror, because these are all based on video games, because this is what I base my shows on. Because this third one, even though it's a religious theme, structure-wise, is Resident Evil Village. They go to a location, get through the location, defeat the big baddie. Go to a location, get through the location, defeat the big baddie. Go to a find out the final plot twist villain. So it's very Resident Evil Village in its structure for this third one. But games in particular, Outlast Asylum, I love medical horror, where there's some crazy scientist with a chainsaw and he's gonna take a needle and pluck out your eyeballs and cut off your fingers and take rats and bugs and splice them together to create one life form with like 10 legs and 3 teeth and claws everywhere. Love that shit. Love like evil medical horror. That's my jam. Haven't been able to do it yet in one of our shows because it's hard to find people who are willing to play with that, but I love it. So that's on the goal list. The other one is like contradictory to everything I enjoy. Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is like my favorite horror video game. And I think it's because the mechanics when it came out, the concept of the fact that like the alien was consistently hunting you, and it wasn't just like, when it comes to stealth aspects, I can somewhat find the hide at this corner because there's a beam of light showing you where the guard will look, and when the guard turns around and his beam of light faces away from you, then you sneak attack kill him. That is fine. But when Alien Isolation came out, it like kind of defied a lot of that, where it was like, oh yeah, you're being hunted consistently, constantly, the whole time. There is never a time when there's a possibility that this alien won't hear you making noise, won't see you, or won't pop through the fucking vents. Like, and maybe my brain thinks it was more complicated than it was, but it felt like you actually had to be stealthy. It wasn't just like, uh-oh, this is the area where the alien might get you. Make sure you crouch. Like, it genuinely felt at any moment that there was a possibility of the alien literally showing up and chasing you. And that I really, really liked. And the fact that you had to be, like, silent, and it could hear you, like, I loved it. Loved Alien Isolation. I'm reminded of that place in Baldur's Gate 3 in Act 2. Which one is that, Dadley? I remember Baldur's Gate 3. Which one's Act 2? Some medical science body horror and fully suspenseful at opposite ends of the spectrum. So the reason why I say Alien Isolation is like the opposite of things that I like is because I'm so sorry. I hate science fiction. I hate science fiction. It is, if you do not count mecha as a genre, science fiction is my least favorite genre. I hate it. I know! And that's why I say that it's surprising that Alien Isolation is up there, because it's literally the whole, like, it's only science fiction. But to me, you have to have incredible other things attached to it for me to get past the science fiction aspect, because I just don't like it. Says how well they've made it then for that to be a favorite game. Exactly my point is, like, the mechanical aspects of that game and the environment were strong enough that the sci-fi didn't bother me. And I really, really liked it. In the Shadow Curse, that's right, Dadley. Thank you. You're 100% correct, Allie. 100% correct. That's a good place, actually, in Act 2. I really like that area. But yeah, Alien Isolation, Outlast Asylum. I like all the other Outlasts, and I like all the Until Dawn. Love Until Dawn. And the atmosphere it created. Unfortunately, the movie's gonna suck, but it is what it is. We're used to that. I don't mind Dark Pictures Anthology. I like that they were trying to do what Until Dawn did. They just don't do it well. What else is out there? Resident Evil doesn't tend to be horror. I like Resident Evil Village, because that one's a bit more horror-based. But I don't find most of the other Resident Evils horror. Oh, there's definitely more. Something Bunker. Something Bunker was good. Hold on, now I gotta look it up. You've got me intrigued now. Bunker horror game. Amnesia. So the original Amnesia was fine, but I think Amnesia Bunker is actually really good. Like, way better than the original and really, really good. Amnesia Bunker is fantastic. I'm looking up other ones. Outlast I've mentioned. Still Wakes the Deep. Still Wakes the Deep was very good. It had some good scary stuff in it, but it also had a very beautiful story. Little Nightmares is good. I don't know if Alan Wake 2 counts, but I really liked Alan Wake 2. The Quarry goes in with Dark Picture Anthologies. I liked Alan Wake 2. I thought that one was fire. Outlast, I already said. What's the one I'm trying to think that sounds like Outlast? Oh, Last of Us. Last of Us is good. Some zombie games are good. Never finished, like, watching someone play Last of Us 2, so I don't know. Inscription's good. The one where they're in the house is good. I don't know if that's Resident Evil. I think that's the Resident Evil before Village. That one's cool. I don't care for the Silent Hill stuff. It's, like, scary, but it's kind of like, I think because they were such a huge influence to the genre, it feels a little less scary now, maybe. They had that medical place with all the blind nurse-looking characters and the crazy doctor with the mechanical type hand. I think that is Outlast. It might be Silent Hill. Oh, whatever the demo was that never had a game made, that shit's fire. Where you kept walking through the same hallway, and there's like a bathroom with a dead baby in it, and there's like a closet on your left, and the doors to leave on your left, and then you had to go down the halls, and you just keep walking through it over and over and over and over. I think it's PT, but I could be wrong. Fantastic. I wish they would have made that game. That demo's one of the best things ever done for horror games. Oh my god, that one's good. I literally just googled horror games. Yeah, Silent Hills are okay. They're not bad. Dun, 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 dun. And I will say, to be fair, when I say played, I do mean watched someone play. I don't play most games myself. It's just hard for me to stay focused. But for me personally, there's no difference. So, I'll consider that a difference. It does not want to give me a list of any. Your stuff that's a bit more, like children's horror. Children's horror is good too. Like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy's Playtime. The children's horror genre I like as well. I don't like it in the same way as the adult horror, and they might not like to be referred to as children's horror, but they are. That stuff is good. It's not in the same category for me. Like Hello Neighbor, that kind of jazz. Because these are the ones that are getting pulled up now, are the children horrors. Dead by Daylight, I know that's like technically a horror, but I think that's isn't that the multiplayer one? I think that's a multiplayer one. I don't think that counts. I don't think that counts. I'm referring to the place in the Shadow Cursed Lands? Didn't plan to describe another game? Dadley, is this a place you have to go? Why don't I remember this? Wait, Baldur's Gate 3... Blind Nurse. What is this? Oh. Oh. You mean the Tinkerer. Like the Tinkerer guy and his assistant, right? That's what you're thinking of? That's very Silent Hill. That inspiration is straight from Silent Hill. But yes, I know which part you're talking about, Baldur's Gate 3 now. Like the guy with the... He's like experimenting on ladies or whatever, and then he's got like assistants. I think I know what you're talking about. Totally fair. 4 survivors versus 1 killer. Yeah. Dead by Daylight is good. We have a few community members who are like really love that game and are a part of it. But I would not put that into the horror thing. Yeah, Dadley, for sure. That section is straight out of Silent Hill. Very good. Very good. Like the pyramid heads and stuff like that. Silent Hill has good character design. I just think the plot is a little boring. Which is, I feel so bad saying that. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to have a good plot in a horror game because you have to balance like where the reality of your world lives. How much fantasy can you bring into it and still have it work? So it's a hard thing to do. So I totally get it. Now I'm literally just looking up horror games. Wait, this is so... I mean, I like horror board games and stuff too, but I would just want a list of... Yeah, it's gonna give me all the Resident Evils. God, I loved Alien Isolation. That's probably when I started like getting into horror as well. It was like 2014 because I would have been like 14. So that makes sense. Silent Hills. Dead Space is supposed to be good, but it's sci-fi. Sci-fi's not my jam. I love that Alan Wake 2 is considered horror. That's so funny. Love that game. Don't know if I would call it horror, but I love that game. Dead Rising is zombies. I guess that's kind of horror. Last of Us is zombies. Last of Us is good. I wouldn't call it horror necessarily. I guess it does have jump scares. Yeah. There really are not a lot. Like, there's really not a lot. It's so interesting to me that I'm walking through that. I'm like, okay, we kind of know all of these. Huh. And I really don't... I know there's so many Alien ones, but, like, they didn't get good. At the very least, maybe there's a lot. They just haven't been good for a long time. They just didn't make good ones for a while. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very much a horror video game person and a horror TV series person. So like if it's a show with multiple episodes, then I'm down for it. I just don't. Movies are not my thing. I don't enjoy movies that much, even horror movies. It's so funny because when I say I'm a horror person, everyone will be like, "Oh, yeah, like what's your like favorite horror movie or something?" And I'll be like, "I've only seen one." And they'll go, "Excuse me? But you call yourself a horror fan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am in just a different way." I may have distracted you. Nah, blessing. You don't distract. You're totally fine. This is usually what we do on stream. I am usually a just chatting streamer. We're just working on stuff for our show for this past couple months. This is what I prefer. I would prefer to be talking for the entire 3 hours I'm live. Like, this is what I enjoy. This is what I live for. Back to Ursula. So don't worry about it. Yeah, this way the paint on the minis dry. Exactly. Lots of lesser known indie horror games. Yes, Dowdley. Yeah, if we go down the route of like indie horror games, there's less that I know because again, I watch people play them. But like Corpse Party and stuff that are in that style, those are good horrors. Those are good horrors. Doki Doki Literature Club, things of that energy are very good. I don't know them, I just know they exist. Yeah, Corpse Party is the big boy standard of pixel horror games. There aren't a lot of pixel horror games because that's very hard to do. Corpse Party is the standard. I think it came out like 2010 or something. But that is very much, it's the final destination of video games, which is kind of funny because I hate Final Destination. But it's a good game. It's a good ass game. There's like id, I think is the other big pixel horror. Oh god, is it id? It's something short and sweet like that. Pixel horror games. Mad Father's a good one. Did they redo Corpse Party? Because it did not come out in 2021, baby. I don't know why that says 2021. Absolutely fucking not, it did not. IB. Sorry, IB, not ID. IB and Corpse Party are the two, yeah, like 2012. They are the two staples. They're the two big boy, like, these are the ones. And they're both, like, indie, I think. Yeah, because they were with RPG Maker back when that was big. Those are the standards for pixel horrors. And then you have stuff that have used it and have become, you know, decent in their own right off of that idea. You have a few that in quotes are pixel horror, but have sort of changed. Like Fear and Hunger is the big one that's popular right now. But it's very, very different from the original like Corpse Parties and IBs of the genre. Boy, I didn't realize I've been a part of this. Undertale's not horror. Get that shit out of here. I didn't realize I've been a part of the horror game genre for so long. Holy shit. Wait, this is fire. I'm like so happy to find this out about myself because in 2012 I was 12. Like I'm so happy to find this out about myself. Oh my god. I don't feel like a poser anymore. Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Yeah, they're really fun. But I like a lot of them. That's kind of how the energy goes. What time is it? 11:17? Is anything dry yet? Oh, might have dried to my cutting board. Got a little, the foam is not super happy about it. Still a little wet in there. Minis are dry from that first coat. You would think the foam would be dry after like how many hours? What is it, 2 hours? But I don't want to touch it if that Mod Podge hasn't dried from that first coat. Because then our base coat is not gonna hold well like that primer. So I won't touch those pieces then. We'll just add some color to the minis, I guess. Let's see. For our last little bit of time here. Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't do the bottom of here. I guess it doesn't matter. They're not gonna see the bottom for our little thrones, but that's okay. They're not too bad. It's just the inside cracks. Especially on that one, I want that one to dry. Okay, so let's just do some basic mini colors then. You know what that means, friends and family and folks anew? We can bust out our specialized mini paintbrushes. Ooh, haven't been able to open these yet. I feared we'd have to wait the month for our custom BBEG mini to come in to use them. But we've got them. They're so cute and I love them. They're adorable. Oh, they're like tied together with little like string. That's so cute. I'm gonna have to cut them away. Hey, 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 gal! Gal, aren't you supposed to be celebrating your friend's birthday today? What are you doing here? What you doing on this live stream? Go celebrate with your friend. But welcome nonetheless, you know we love you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm already losing. Oh, God. Oh, I'm losing them. Oh, I'm losing them. Oh, God. I'm losing them. Everywhere they're gone. I did much drink and he went to bed. Oh, good. Everybody, Gal's friend turned 21 today. And they had some beautiful drinky. And then they went to bed. Happy birthday to Gal's friend who doesn't know who we are. Yay! Gal, we've been talking about horror games and deciding some things about our campaign. And now we are going to add some more color to these minis that we have done a base white coat on. Birthday mine was just a few days ago. I turned 26. Yo, Dadley, happy birthday, okay? Happy birthday! The silence is because I have no idea how old I am. Because I was gonna say, are you younger than me? And I went, how old am I? Huh. Oh well. Happy birthday, Dudley! Happy birthday, we love you! We're so glad to have you be a part of this community! Hee hee hee. Rachel's just old. I hate that you're allowed to say that because your ass is younger than me. That much I know. Well, I think I'm 25. I can't even check my ID because my ID is expired. I could do the math, but I don't wanna. How's your bones as they wither to dust? I literally looked up how old I am before going on 26. Let me put this knife away before we start joking about dying. Oh my god. Merry belated aging, I love it. Literally, you know what? Dadley, were you born in 99? Or were you born in 2000? Or were you born in 98? It's gotta be one of the three. Because that's how I'll know. That's how you'll know that she loves you. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, Dadley, then I'm 25. Because if you just turned 26, that means I'll be turning 26. Because we're both 99 babies. Okay. Woo! That's so funny, oh my god. Fucking love that. That's hysterical. We love it. Alright, y'all. Let me show you the guys that are wielding axes. And you tell me which one we want to be our Horseman of War. Because our Horseman of War has an axe. So he's got to be one of the axe boys. Which, there's quite a few. Let's see. Okay, I think these are all of them. Let's see. So, one. Oh god. That explains the similar music tastes and childhood shows. Yeah, Dadley, I think it does. Really, depending on what I feel like the whole Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Millennial, etc. The only thing it really is about is like what you grew up watching and listening to. It's the culture. Like, it's not actually about when you're born. If you grew up with siblings that are technically millennials, then that means that they were involved in your life, then that means you're probably more of a millennial, even if you're not technically age-wise, because you grew up with all the 90s stuff. Whereas if you grew up in, like, the era that we did, then you're closer to Gen Z, because you grew up without all the 90s stuff. So it just kind of depends. All right, y'all. See if I can get it to be nice and clear. Okay, camera, you got this. Okay, they got a little lit up in the wrong way because of the light. But these are axe guys. So one of these, oh, thank you, camera. One of these is gonna be our king. We can pick anyone we want. The one in the middle. So you mean this guy? On my pinky over here? You think that one should be our king? The shirtless man? I literally joked about having the shirtless axe wielder be our king. The dwarfy? That would be funny. Oh, 2 baby grew up with 90 stuff. Yeah, then gal, you ain't a part of our Gen Z. Get the fuck out of here. Even if you are age-wise, you didn't grow up with our shit. Well, you were also poor, so I don't know if you can call yourself a millennial. Okay, so we have 1 vote for the dwarf, 1 vote for our shirtless guy in the middle. Dadley, what's your vote? You gotta tell me, Dadley, what's your vote? No haze, gal. I'm allowed to call you poor if I want. Shirtless man? Okay. Shirtless man will be our king. He is the one we will focus on painting. Not against the shirtless guy, to be frank. Alright, that is 3 for shirtless man. Shirtless man will be our king. Here he is in all his glory. Shirtless man is our king. Okay, yep. Oh, shirtless man king. Because it's funny. Yeah, I love it. I love it. He will be our king. I'm going to steal your cats and replace them with raisins. One would bite you, and the other... Nah, he'd probably go willingly. But one will bite you. Because it's, quote, the ad shirtless man will be our king. Literally, that's gonna have to go into the quote book. We're gonna have to clip that one. Shirtless man will be our king. He will rule over the people. Now, I think these are sized. They are sized! Yay! I think I want a 4 for the base colors. Maybe we should do a 3. The sizing I'm used to, even, oh, that's a 6. Even if I've never worked with these paintbrushes before, when I had to take that first year of traditional art college, we did use sized pens called microns. And I don't care who you are or how skilled you are, microns are fucking awesome. I loved that you had sizes. Like number sizes. Earlier quote was, I like to be tortured. That one better get fucking clipped. That one better go fucking viral. Alright? Like, because I do. Like, let's fucking go. Yo, that reminds me of, it won't come out for a few months, but I just recorded another episode, I think the last one, but another episode of the voice acting coaching stuff on Monday for y'all, for our season 2. And I had somebody who was a little nervous, and I'm not joking. There's a quote in there where I straight up went, "Don't be nervous to assault my audience's eardrums with your language. All right? They are used to me going, ooh, daddy, and assaulting their eardrums all the time, okay? Assault their eardrums. No worries, Blessing. Go do what you gotta do, my friend. We'll probably be live till midnight, and welcome to the crew. Checks out? Literally does, gal. Literally does. God tier, God tier. But that's gonna be a fun episode when that releases, because everybody's gonna be like, yes, she does in fact do this. She does in fact assault our eardrums. Without us asking. Midnight was 4.5 hours ago for me. Yo, blessing, in that case, we were not live at midnight for you. Okay, 30 more minutes is probably about as long as we go. I try to go to midnight my time. But I appreciate you being here. Do whatever you need to do, my friend. And if we're gone by the time you get back, please have a lovely, lovely night. I appreciate you being here. Yes, EST indeed. We got triple zeros. Oh, I love it. I love it. Sleep is for the weak? Then I must be dead and gone and buried. I'm just kidding. I don't sleep. Especially about our Hear Me Out yapping last night. Oh, y'all, the podcast episode that comes out the next Tuesday. We were supposed to do a nice, casual, like, talking about books or something. But unfortunately, we had started a discussion before we started recording the podcast, me and Gal, about Hear Me Out cakes. And if you don't know Hear Me Out cake, listen to the episode. But I was so heated in the discussion that I started the podcast and went, "Well, the podcast we're starting to Hear Me Out cakes." Like, and then the entire free episode on YouTube, like, there's no way this will ever be monetized, but that's fine. I don't get monetization on YouTube. I'm not famous. The entire episode is literally me explaining why everything is fuckable. And why the reason everything is fuckable is eyebrows. If you don't believe me, listen to it next Tuesday, okay? Because I am correct. I am correct, alright? So funny. Oh my god. What do we want to use? A 1? A 2? A 3? I feel like maybe a 1's good. But maybe we'll use a 2. Let's see. A 1, a 2, a 3. The ace saying everything is fuckable. Literally, Dadley. Dadley, that became the entire joke of the episode. Was, of course I'd say everything is fuckable. I'm asexual. So I won't want to fuck anything. So of course I would say that. And that is what it became. That is legitimately what it was. Was I would not pass anything in a smash or pass. Because why would I? And frankly, I think it made for a banger of an episode, if we're being honest. Just a full-out banger. Oh, these aren't smooshed yet. They're like, yes, I'm about to say this after our conversation we just had. They're like firm and solid and like stuck together. So they're not smooshing all over the place like the old brushes. Boy, this is so nice. This is so nice. I can just use the tip. This is so nice. I like it. Let's go. I like it. You have the ace and the bi-pansexual having the complete opposite opinions. Yeah, you were like, no, there are definitely things that would be considered to hear me out because no one would want to fuck them. And I'm like, absolutely incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. Everything's fuckable. Glorious, yeah. Of course it'd be a full-out banging one if you would smash them all. Exactly. And this is the problem, right? Is like, I was essentially arguing that people's hear me out, that people are pussies when it comes to their hear me outs. And they're putting like Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron on their hear me out cakes as if that horse is not the most fuckable horse you've ever seen in your life. Excuse you, it's voiced by Matt Damon and it has eyebrows. Alright? That horse is fuckable. And this was like the argument I was making. And I was like, I do not think there are very many valid examples of a good hear me out. Because I think there will always be, I think it's a rule 34. There is always like somebody who would be down for it in a heartbeat. Even if that somebody is me. Like, it's just the truth. Like, it's just the truth. Rachel would fuck a brick wall if it had eyebrows. No. No, I don't have a comeback, actually. Eyebrows matter. That's all I can say is eyebrows matter. It's always the voice. It's always the voice. Listen, as a voice actor, as long as you've got a good voice, I can close my eyes. That's all I'm saying. Like, might hurt your ego a bit, but, that's all I'm saying. If it has eyebrows and a seductive voice, literally, hey, put this bag over your head, but instead of cutting out the eye holes and the mouth hole, can you cut out the eyebrows? Literally the funniest shit ever, I swear to God. But hear me outs are about personal preferences. Gal, and that, yeah, so Gal is correct. That is what we determined while talking about it on the podcast, was we came to the conclusion that hear me outs are so, like, they don't work because you're doing it based on, like, the average person when everyone is actually going to have their own preferences, right? So that's not going to work because, of course, there's always going to be someone who is down for it. And that's why it's trouble. So if you go only based on whether you think the average person would consider it a hear me out, then you can do it. Which is probably what you're supposed to do, but not many people do. Not many people do, I don't think. Baby, I know. Oh, Gal, we'll get your opinion on it. We figured out species for some of our horsemen. Fox Daddy? Yo, what the fuck, Fox Daddy? Hi, bud. How are you? Oh my god, thank you for resubscribing, Fox Daddy. We love you. How's life? How's everything going? You're a fantastic human. Guys, if you don't know, I have been torturing Fox Daddy by asking him to edit the first episode I recorded for Voice Acting Coaching Season 2. And everyone knows I'm a picky ass bitch, and I know he wants to kill me with all the things where I'm like, can you do this? And can you do that? So give extra love to Fox Daddy, because he deserves it for dealing with me. Don't you dare put your little feet in my paint. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can wait. We've got like 20 minutes, sir. You can wait your turn. Thwomp would be an acceptable hear me out. I disagree. I've been running around all day. Oh, what have you been doing, bud? What have you been doing running around? Running around. Or, the other thing that came into my head. Run, Candace, run. Run, Candace, run. I think Fox Daddy should be in our literature podcast. Ooh. Yeah, Fox Daddy, you want to join our literature episode next Tuesday? We're talking about Shakespeare. Kat said hi. Yes, he did. And Dadley. Dadley could join our Shakespeare one, too. Yeah, Oswald wants to say hello. Oswald wants to say hello to everything. He also knows his name, so I need to stop saying it. He is a dog. He knows words. Yes, I know you're a human man, and I love you, sir. We got 20 minutes, okay? Okay, my pretty boy. I should have been done with that video a couple of days ago, but I've been busy trying to find a new car and helping my mom. Fox Daddy, let me be very clear. There is no timeline. There is no deadline. Don't do that shit. You take care of your life. You take care of your people. You take care of your family. Do not prioritize bullshit I ask you to do. Ever. All right? Okay. Don't do that. Don't ever. We don't play those games here. You prioritize your own shit. Also, good luck finding a new car, and I hope your mother's okay. Don't need to know personal details. You don't have to give them. That's your life, but I'm sending you good energy. Because that shit sucks. Alright, what color do we want as pants? Oh, wait, War is gonna be green, so we have to give him green pants. Green pants, green. Green pants! Because War is green. Is it you? Was I using one? Yes, I was. Yes, you're a pretty boy. I know. I love you too. It's my good beauty boy. My good cat. My good husband. Yes, I said your name. Do you want to go on the bed? You want me to lift you up there? Or you want to watch? Okay, I'm gonna let you sit there. If you try to get up again, I'll put you on the bed, okay? Alright. We got to make this pants green. That's right, we gotta do multiple coats. I am in love with how precise and neat and sturdy these brushes are. They're just random pack off of Amazon, but provided I don't fuck them up, these are nice. I like these quite a bit. Oh gal, my Korean romance drama heated up. They are officially, he officially knows she's a woman, which is like a big turning point in the Mulan genre. And, not only that, but she definitely has fallen for his ass. And she's realized, yeah. So, it was crazy dramatic. Let me tell you how crazy dramatic and cool this was, right? So, she not escapes, but like she is trying to talk to somebody to plot out King's dethronement, right? And in order to talk to him and not to raise suspicions, just make sure to clean the blushes when you're done. Yes, Dadley, I will do that. In order to not raise suspicions by talking with the guy she's plotting treason with, she ditches the King's patrolmen that were watching her. Well, our king is already very in love with this boy, because he still thinks she's a boy. A man, whatever you want to say. And so the King's guard is like, uh-oh, we lost her. But they didn't just lose her. No. They lost her on the night that the king is supposed to fuck the queen consort to have a child. Obviously, the king doesn't want to do that because he's in love with our main lead boy girl. And so he sees an opportunity where he's like, oh, you lost the actual person I'm in love with, and I also don't want to sleep with this woman they want me to sleep with. So I'm just gonna leave her here on the pretense that I have to go save my boy lady love interest. And so he does just that, which only fuels the beautiful rumor that he likes men, which is fantastic. Going to lurk, but should get a little sleep. Been an absolute delight and pleasure to hang out. Yes, Blessing, have a good night, day, whatever it is for you. I appreciate you. We're gonna be done in a little bit anyways. Thank you for joining the community and all that jazz. I appreciate you and how much fun it's been to talk to you. Gal, oop indeed. So, he goes to find her. He finds her, like, passed out drunk, no biggie, because basically, catch you when I can, indeed, blessing, goodbye, goodbye. Because she had gone to talk to the other guy to plan treason, and the other guy, who knows that she's a girl, and knows that she, all the bad stuff that happened to her from the king, the other guy is like, hey, I know what it looks like when someone's in love, and you are in love with the king. I don't care how much you lie to yourself and tell you you're not and that you're gonna, like, dethrone him. I know what it looks like. So you better quash those feelings right now. Or I'm telling you, I will go through with the plan, regardless of what side you're on. And so she gets drunk because she's like, oh no, I love him. Uh-oh. Maybe I'll just drink the night away and then I'll forget about him in the morning. Like, she's gonna drown her sorrows in alcohol. So she does that, and then, the guard is like, oh, she's missing. So the king skips out on betting his consort in order to go find her. King finds her asleep drunk in the road. King brings her to, like, an abandoned house thing, which happens to be, ding, 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 fun times, her old dead dad's house. Woo! But anyways, that's not the point. Brings her to an abandoned house to be like, okay, can't sleep outside, right? Bad things can happen to you. So he, like, lies her down in bed, and she's asleep or out or what? Well, kind of asleep. The drunk, like, half asleep. That's what she is. He, like, puts her on the floor, which is their version of bed. It's not a bed. It's, like, on the floor. And he starts doing the things that, like, we kind of have it in Western culture, but for us, it's more associated with, like, kids, where if your child falls asleep, you're gonna, like, take off their shoes and tuck them into the covers, right? But I don't know if it's a Korean thing in general, or if it's strictly, like, a romance genre thing, but I think it's a culture thing. Basically, he starts, like, taking off shoes, taking off hat in order to, like, put her into bed. Well, she wakes up during the middle of it, like, or recognizes what he's doing and pulls a Mulan where she's like, ha! But strictly goes to, like, for the chest area, even though he's, like, taking off all of the things, and instead of just being like, I gotta do full screen. I'm sorry to no one, all the people who don't care. But instead of just being like, don't touch me, what are you doing? She very clearly is like, oh, type of energy. And they just look at each other, and I was about to be like, in traditional, how this genre usually goes, right? Is he wouldn't clock it, she would say something, the story would continue. But this is not the usual genre. This shit's good. And so it takes maybe 30 seconds of him looking at her and her looking at him and him going, no, you're fucking not. I swear to God, he just goes, no, you're not. And she doesn't say anything. And he stands up, right? And this is the moment where you find out if the show is gonna go, oh, everything's fine because you're a woman type of energy, like how homophobic it's gonna be. This show was lived up to good expectations. It was not homophobic. He literally, like, gets super upset, and it's not because, like, woman or anything. He gets super upset because, and he goes, I told you from the second you came back here, like, because he saw her, because he sent her and the best friend and everybody to die, right? And then she came back to enact revenge. He's like, I told you from the second I saw you that if you lied to me for any reason, I will kill you. No questions, no hesitation. And she is sitting there, like, still half drunk, half undressed, just been exposed, titties are not out, but just been exposed as, like, uh-oh, I'm a woman. And this man literally is looking at her like, I'm like gonna take this sword off the wall and kill her right here. And he's the king, so it doesn't matter, right? Like, what he does. And she's like in tears, and she goes, she had beat him. So I never said this in the podcast because it's kind of the plot, but it doesn't really matter. The whole reason that these two connect at all, or that they have any involvement, is because she is the best player in the entire fucking, like, country of this one game that the king plays. And so that's why they're obsessed with each other, is because neither of them can beat each other type of territory. So she had won a game against him an episode or two prior. And she makes bets when she plays. So her bet, she was like, if I beat you, you owe me one wish that you have to grant and you cannot say no to. Because it's a wish from the king, right? And he was like, fuck it, whatever. Well, she won. And he was like, my one condition is you cannot use it to like, spare your life. I will not let you use this as an excuse to, like, run away. And so this moment happens where she gets revealed. He's like, I'm gonna kill you because you lied to me, and I told you you are not allowed to lie to me no matter what. And she goes, I want to use my wish. And he goes, no. You agreed. You promised me you would not use your wish to beg for your life. Lady Bedhead, literally, he goes, you promised me you would not use your wish to beg for your life. You cannot use it. And this is how I know that whoever wrote this show said, oh, you thought we accidentally tagged our show romance? Sweetheart, we're just getting started. Because she goes, I would never beg for my life. I'm not afraid to die. That's not what I wish for. And fucking kisses this man. Full force, just fucking barrels into this king. This king who's like about to kill her ass. And then like pulls back and she's like, all right. She literally is like, cool. That's what I wanted it for. Like, I'll die now. Like, and I'm sitting there like, I'm like fully jaw open. I'm like, what the fuck? The same way that the guy playing the king on the screen is doing the same thing. He's like, literally like, he's doing the girl thing where they like touch their mouth to be like, what the fuck just happened? He's literally like, huh? Like, but you have to remember, he had already fallen in love with her as the dude from like 3 years ago when he exiled them. So he is sitting there like, I need to kill you. But, and so I don't know if the implication is that they fucked, but I think the implication is that they fucked. Because Korean doesn't go as ham as Thai does, because Thai is good about that. But regardless, so the next scene is them in less clothing. So I'm like, I think that's an implication that they have fucked. But literally I was sitting there jaw on the floor because first of all, the actors did great, beautiful chemistry between them. But literally, I cannot believe that the one game where she beats him and literally claims a wish, she uses her wish to fuck him. I'm like, this is crazy. This show is crazy. What genre is this show? Like, where did that, who thought of this? And so, this happens, because I'm not done yet. Literally, Fox Daddy, this shit's wild. This is crazy. I've never seen this shit happen in a K romance before. I've never seen this shit. But we're not done. We're not done. The genre is yes, literally. So we're not done, ladies and gentlemen. We are not done. This happens, right? They fuck. Because of course he's gonna say yes. Even if she dies after. Of course he's gonna say yes. He's loved her for like 3 fucking years. Anyways. So they fuck, right? And then she falls asleep. They have like they talk. Essentially a little bit. They don't, that's the one thing I hate about like romance genres and some dramas in general is nobody fucking communicates. And it drives me crazy. So they talk a little bit. Talk a wee bit. She falls asleep. Probably fully expecting to die now. We follow him as he wakes up in the morning, literally like contemplates whether to kill her, and then leaves. And so when she wakes up, she gets told that her punishment for getting drunk and not fulfilling her duties is to, like, she can't come to the palace for a while. And she has to stay in her house. But what that really is, hey, I didn't kill you. That's really what that means. And not only did I not kill you, I didn't tell anybody you're a woman. Because remember, that is also treason. Pretending to be a boy is not just as treason, but basically the same amount of treason as trying to get the king killed, okay? Because weird laws in Korea at that time. Anyways, so he basically had told her, she wakes up to the guard informing her that, like, the king didn't kill you and kept your secret. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Get ready for this. We're not done. So. Obviously, the king did not bed the woman he was supposed to bed to have his child. Instead, as far as the rest of the court knows, he went off to his little boy toy. And so, half of the people in the court are like, they're like, what do we do? What do we do? So they're trying to get rid of our main female lead because they think he's a boy toy. And they're like, we can't have the king fucking boy toys. We need an heir. And meanwhile, the king is like, let them say it. What are they gonna do? I'm the king. Like, and then, so they make a plan, court officials, to like, they make a bet with the king because they need to get rid of the boy toy, and he knows they want to get rid of the boy toy. And so they make a bet. They're like, hey, the King Dynasty, like, envoy person is headed our way. For those who don't know, King Dynasty is like China. China and Korea would, like, fight over, like, land and territory and kingdoms. And so they're like, King Dynasty guy is on his way. If we can get him here and, like, it goes well, you have to get rid of your boy toy. And the king was like, bet. No hesitation. He was just like, down. Which I love because, again, this is enemies to lovers. So the king wasn't like, no, I love my boy toy, I must save him. He was like, that bitch lied to me. That bitch used her wish to fuck me. She should be dead. Bet. Like, God tier. So then, the court officials win the bet and go to capture the boy toy. And the king is all like, not upset about it. And so everybody's like, oh no. What's going on? Like, he's not upset. Like, well, her people, the boy toys people, Mulan's people, are like, uh-oh, he must really be trying to kill you. And then, turns out, the king knows the king, as in Q-I-N-G, Dynasty Envoy. And guess what game the King Dynasty Envoy likes to play? The same game that boy toy is the best player at in the entire fucking country of Korea. And so the King Dynasty dude is like, well, what happened to this, like, famous game player? Where is he? I want to play a game with him. And the king is like, I'm sorry, but the court officials got rid of him. And so the King Dynasty person is like, well, I guess you'll just have to reinstate him so I can play him. And so the king reinstates our boy toy main female lead, who shows up because the King Dynasty guy wants to play him. And she's looking at the king like, what the fuck? And she's looking at all these court officials like, am I not dying today? Like, what is happening? And so she kind of knew that the king had saved her, a little bit beforehand. but she didn't know what his plan was. And so the King Dynasty guy with the Q is like, I'll make a bet. And all of a sudden everybody's like, uh-oh. And he's like, if I win, I get to choose what happens to this boy toy. And our Korean king, our main guy, can't say no, or he literally starts a war. So he says yes. But the other half of the bet, the King Dynasty guy was like, cool, if I lose, your court officials get to decide what to do with the boy toy. So there was no win option for her. If she loses, she's gonna be taken back to China. And if she wins, she's gonna die. Like, so what happens? Tell me what happens. Can you guess what happens? I'll tell you what happens. She fucking makes a tie. She makes a tie game because she's the best player ever. And of course she can make a tie game. So she makes a tie game. And our main boy king is like, oh no, it's a tie, because he know she's good enough to beat him. So he's like, oh no, it's a tie. I guess I get to decide what to do with the boy toy. And our boy toy main female lead gets reinstated back into her position with the king, where they are still hopelessly in love with each other. I take it back. The genre is plot twist. Literally, this whole genre is plot twist because they're obviously now super in love with each other. But she is still telling all of her treason friends that she will kill him and commit treason, even though she clearly loves this man. And right now, there's a little bit of a side plot running with some of the nieces and nephews, where the king's niece, we like the nieces and nephews, they're sweet children, like 14 and 8, I think, or 14 and 10 probably, but like right now there's a little bit of a side plot going where the Chinese prince wants to marry the 14-year-old niece, which, although age for us is weird, at that time is not, but he wants to marry her, and if they say no, they're gonna like invade Korea. Now the king, because he's fallen in love with our main female lead, has started to, like I said would happen in the podcast, revert back to, oh, I am a good guy. I do care about people. I do empathize. I do want good things. And so now that he's started to revert back, he's like, you know what? I may not have always been the kindest, where like I don't want my niece and nephew to be afraid of me. I love them, and I'm sorry that I've done this. But he's also like, what am I supposed to do? Because if I don't give her to China as the princess, they will invade us. And so without telling him, remember, literally the only thing the king has said he would kill our main female lead for several times over is lying to him. So what does she do? What does she decide to do? She lies to him. The female lead, once again, goes behind the king's back and goes to the princess and the prince, the niece and nephew, and says, I'm gonna switch you guys out. One of my treason buddies, the kids don't know she's gonna commit treason, but one of my treason buddies is around the same age as you. She is going to go and be the princess and marry the guy in China, and you're gonna run away. It does mean you'll never see your brother again. It means you'll never be with your family again. You're gonna have to be alone. But it's either that or you are forced to be the wife of some guy in China where you don't even speak the language. And so she was like, I don't want to leave my brother alone. Like, I'm his only family. And the brother's like, no, you go. I love you and I don't want you to leave, but like, at least you'll be free and happy. So they make the switch. And it's very emotional because her treason friend is like super sweet and was a captive of the Chinese army and now has to go back as like a spy for the princess. But the court officials have caught on that they have swapped the princess. And so they left it on a cliffhanger where they were going to tell the king that they've caught on. And so where I left off was our main female, it's a lot of twists and turns. This is plot twist, the genre. So our main female lead was going to tell the king that she had lied and substituted the princess. And that is where the episode ended. And I'm excited to binge watch more because I know exactly what's going to happen. One, the court officials don't actually know that she was substituted. I would bet so much money that is a red herring. That they know she was substituted, but then something happened where they couldn't prove it, type of energy. And they actually got away with it. Two, which that will make her, I'm gonna bet you that you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what? You're right. Maybe I shouldn't talk. Maybe I don't know the genre well enough. I think I know the genre well enough, but maybe I don't know the genre well enough. If they do know that she's been substituted and they caught them, I still am excited because once again, the female lead has lied to the king. Literally the only thing he said he would kill her for. Twice. But he didn't do it last time. Something tells me she's not gonna get away with just fucking him out of killing her. Although I have to say, she's a fantastic female lead. There are a lot of good female leads, but whoever came up with the concept that the way she was gonna get out of the king killing her was to fuck him is the most brilliant writer I've ever seen in my life. Because you know that man doesn't want to be writing this genre. You know whoever wrote that wants to be writing pornos, but he can't. So he's writing as close as he can in these fucking K-drama romances. Because I watched that scene, I still watched it and just went, what is happening? Like, fantastic. God tier. Fabulous. But anyways, thank you for letting me spill on this lovely romance K-drama I've been watching. Because I love it so much. And it's part of it. He wants to write Yuri Yaoi. Exactly, Dadley. That's correct. That's correct. And this, if we get even nicher, this is not just K-drama or romance. This is specifically, I'm spitting, what I call Mulan K-drama romance, or Mulan romance, which is woman pretends to be man, and then the man falls in love with someone who he thinks is a man. It's actually a literal niche in the genre, and there are other shows who have done this niche better. My favorite is still The King's Affection. Out of all romance in general, even ones that don't follow this pattern, highly recommend it. King's Affection is really good. But still, it's just funny to see this. I like watching dramas and see where they go with the romance and the drama and the plot twists, because I'm like, bro, you are already in a niche genre. You are just getting weirder, and I like it. But okay, let me let y'all go. I don't think we are gonna raid to anyone tonight. Yeah, I don't think so. If you guys want good voice acting stuff, Jun Yoon has been live streaming advice reviews for everybody who submitted to the shortlist. I submitted, but I don't think we passed round one. But he's giving out really good advice, and it's all free, and you can listen to it, so highly recommend. But I'm not gonna raid over to him, I don't think. I think we're just gonna close out for the night, unless we have people we want to raid to, but I don't think so. I'm not seeing anyone pop up. All right, cool. So we will... sorry, I'm just reading. Hold on. Yeah, Assassin's Creed. Chatting. Valorant. Yeah. Okay, y'all. I will peace out. And I will bid you adieu and a good night. Thank you for listening to me talk about my romance and the crazy plot twists that were occurring. Take care of yourselves. Have a good week and a good weekend. Fox Daddy, you especially don't rush on shit that I send you. There's no time limit. Dadley, have a good night. Thank you for being here for so long, Dadley. We had great chats. Did you see the Switch 2 news? Yes, I did. I think it looks cool, but it's kind of meh, and it's way too expensive. That's the casual lines. But yes, good night, goodbye, gal. I'll talk to you on Tuesday, and everybody, I should be done with that video by the weekend. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, Fox Daddy, I will stop the ending of this stream specifically to tell you, it's fine. It doesn't matter when it gets done, because I don't plan on showing them until, like, May. It's fine. You're okay, Fox Daddy. Fox Daddy, go to bed. Go to bed. Treat yourself. Eat some ice cream. Like, all of you. Dadley, thank you for being here the whole time and chatting with me. Fox Daddy, Gal, I know our new friend Blessing lurked/went to bed, but all of you guys, thank you. I appreciate you. You're fabulous. Let me let you go because you know I'll talk forever. Okay? All right. I love you. Good night. Goodbye.